In the small, isolated town of Shady Pines, autumn had always been a time of celebration. As leaves turned to fiery shades of red and gold, families prepared for the annual harvest festival. But this year, something was different. Whispers of an old legend began to surface, a tale long buried under the town's cheerful facade. They spoke of a clown named Jolly Joe, a performer who had vanished years ago during a festival. According to the townsfolk, Joe had been a beloved figure, entertaining children with his colorful antics and balloon animals. But behind the painted smile lurked a dark secret. Children began to disappear one by one during the festival, and it was said that Joe was responsible. One fateful night, the townspeople had confronted him, demanding he leave the festival forever. They chased him into the woods, but he was never seen again. They thought they had put the legend to rest, but every autumn, eerie laughter would echo through the trees, sending shivers down spines. As the festival approached this year, the atmosphere was thick with anticipation and dread. The organizers worked tirelessly to set up booths, games, and a haunted house attraction, but an uneasy feeling hung in the air. Children spoke of strange sights, a figure lurking in the shadows, bright eyes watching them from the trees. As night fell on the first evening of the festival, the townsfolk gathered in the town square, oblivious to the lurking horror. Laughter and music filled the air, but beneath the joyous exterior lay a tension that would soon erupt. Among the attractions was the infamous haunted house, crafted from an old barn on the outskirts of town. It was the centerpiece of the festival, a labyrinth of dark hallways and eerie props designed to thrill and terrify. But as the first group of brave souls ventured inside, the atmosphere shifted. A chilling breeze swept through the entrance, as if the very air was alive with malevolence. Inside the haunted house, the laughter began. At first, it was a distant echo, but it grew louder, more sinister, resonating through the walls. The group pressed forward, nerves fraying, until they came upon a dimly lit room filled with cobwebs and shadows. Suddenly, a figure burst forth, draped in ragged clown attire, painted face twisted into a grotesque smile. "Welcome, welcome," the clown bellowed, his voice dripping with madness. "Step right up for the show of your life." The group froze, terror flooding their veins. The clown's eyes glinted with a maniacal glee as he brandished a colorful mallet. "Don't be shy. It's all in good fun." With a terrifying grin, he lunged at the group. Screams filled the air as they scrambled to escape, but the exit was blocked. Panic set in as the clown cackled, echoing through the dimly lit hallways, a sound that twisted their insides. One by one, the group was picked off, their screams swallowed by the darkness. The clown was relentless, his movements fluid and unnerving. The walls of the haunted house became a twisted maze, each corner revealing another trap, another victim. Outside, the laughter of the festival-goers transformed into confusion as they noticed the group hadn't returned. A few brave souls ventured toward the haunted house, calling out their names. "Are you guys okay?" Silence hung heavy in the air, only to be broken by a chilling laugh echoing from within. Fear coursed through their veins as they turned to flee, but the clown was fast, slinking out of the shadows with a terrifying grace. "Who's next for the show?" he taunted, eyes glinting with a dark delight. As the festival erupted into chaos, panic swept through the crowd. Parents yelled for their children, and the sounds of laughter transformed into cries of terror. The clown reveled in the fear, darting between the terrified festival-goers, his laughter a symphony of madness. Desperate to stop the chaos, the town sheriff, a grizzled man named Frank, rallied a group of townsfolk armed with flashlights and makeshift weapons. "We need to find him," he shouted. "He can't take any more of our children." Together they stormed the haunted house, their lights cutting through the darkness. "Stay close," Frank urged, his heart racing. The air was thick with dread as they navigated the twisted corridors, the walls seemingly closing in around them. Then they heard it, the laughter again, louder now, echoing from the depths of the house. "You can't catch me," the clown's voice taunted, sending chills down their spines. "I'm Jolly Joe, and the show must go on." Finally, they reached the heart of the haunted house, a small stage illuminated by flickering lights. The clown stood there, surrounded by a sickening display of balloon animals, each one grotesquely shaped to resemble the missing children of the town. "Join the fun," he cackled, his eyes wild with delight. Fury surged through Frank as he stepped forward. "This ends now, you monster." He lunged at the clown, but Jolly Joe was fast, dodging him with ease. The room erupted into chaos as the townsfolk fought back, trying to corner the clown. But with each attempt, he slipped through their fingers like smoke, taunting them at every turn. "You'll have to try harder than that." In the midst of the chaos, a young girl named Emma, who had slipped away from her parents to explore, found herself face to face with Jolly Joe. Her innocent eyes were wide with fear, but there was something deeper. Curiosity. "Why are you doing this?" she asked, voice trembling. "You can stop. You don't have to be alone." For a brief moment, the madness in the clown's eyes flickered, and his smile faltered. But then, with a terrifying roar, he lunged at her, rage boiling over. "You don't understand. I'm the life of the party." Frank saw the danger and acted swiftly, throwing himself in front of Emma just as the clown reached for her. The impact sent them both sprawling. In the confusion, the townsfolk closed in, trapping the clown against the wall. "You think you can end me?" he shrieked, laughter mixing with rage. "I'm eternal. The laughter will never die." But Frank and the townsfolk worked together, pushing him back, their resolve unyielding. "We won't let you take anyone else," Frank shouted, determination shining in his eyes. With one final surge, they overwhelmed the clown, forcing him to the ground. As he struggled against them, his laughter turned into a howl of despair. "No, this isn't how it ends." And then, with a blinding flash of light, The walls of the haunted house shook, the ground trembling beneath them. In a moment of terror, the clown's figure began to flicker and dissolve, his maniacal laughter echoing into the night, before it faded completely. When the dust settled, the haunted house stood silent, the shadows lifting. The townsfolk were left breathless, shaken but victorious. Jolly Joe was gone, banished to the darkness he had once thrived in. The harvest festival was cancelled, but the fear lingered, like a shadow that refused to vanish. For years to come, the tale of the clown would be whispered in hushed tones, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked just beneath the surface of their quaint town. And as the years passed, every autumn, when the leaves began to fall and the air turned crisp, a distant laughter could still be heard in the night, a haunting echo of Jolly Joe, waiting for the next harvest festival to come alive once more.